knows it, your wife knows it, your kids know it, and you think, good Lord, talk about being low on merits. Talk about the demerits piling up, and all of a sudden God just moves in. You say, why? Because all you ever trusted in was Jesus. Whether you understand it or not, that's all God ever asks out of you. Listen, all God ever expects out of you is failure. You always deliver the goods. You've never missed a load. You haven't. All He expects out of Jesus is success, and He's never missed a load either. And it's, see, you can't, some of you, even now, you trouble with this. You know why? It's supernatural truth that you can't grab through the natural mind. Just like no lost guy gets saved apart from God illuminating, no believer is going to walk with God apart from understanding by the Holy Spirit the principles that we're talking about right here. They don't come natural. You're not going to come home and just logic this out. Flesh and blood is not going to reveal it. It's going to have to be the Father in heaven. And that's where me as a preacher, I can't drill that. I can't make you grab it. For one thing, I barely grab it myself. A lot of stuff I preach that I think, Lord, I don't know. I don't know what I'm preaching. I have to preach. Time comes, you preach. You got to be a preacher. It's really a blast. You tell people, you need to be in the Bible, and you think, well, my Bible dry as puke to me this week. You got to agree when you say it. Get the Word of God! You'll love it! Yeah, right. Prayer! We're on your knees! You walk, see your pants is all, not the knees. And you'd rather watch TV and pray. That's why a lot of preachers quit. You know why? They made one little mistake. They thought they were lifting up themselves when all the time they should have lifted up Jesus. That's right. You say, well, we need something a little more spiritual around here. You sure joking do. And His name's Jesus. That's right. Amen. Amen. Going by feelings. Yeah. I feel Holy Ghost. Hey, I love to feel the Holy Spirit. You say there ain't such a thing. Well, there may not be you. There is to me. What did that one black preacher say? He said, I feel the Holy Ghost in my toes. You bet. Amen. Hey, if I had a spell of women sitting in the back row there. What, Sunday night? Yeah. Woo! I told my wife, I wish I wouldn't let Dale pray after listening to me. Man, I wish I'd have got a shot at that. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Oh, praise God. Man, I was just dancing inside. I said, yes, yes. I preached myself to death so much. Amen. Sometimes you don't feel nothing. You better let faith kick in. He's here whether I feel it or not. Sometimes you got to shout when you don't want to. You know that? If you can't shout in the valley, you ain't much of a shout. You know, the only time you can shout when everything goes your way, your shout is broken, man. Right? The last one's hard. Don't light your own fire kind of thing. It says, look at all you who kindle a fire. You know, in other words, if God don't do something, I will. That's why I preach it. See, I do that when I'm preaching. Gets dead, nobody's moving, can't sense God's Spirit. Well, bless God, we're going to kick this thing. That's when I get vicious from the pulpit. And of course, you've seen me do that before. It's time up in flesh like puke in the pulpit. I look at somebody that looks a little bored. You got a problem with it? They know what I'm talking about. What is that? Lighting my own fire. I want revival. I want y'all to be excited about Jesus. If you're not, then bless God, I ain't going to light fire. You light it. See, man's fire burns things up. You're the same way. You want your husband to be a little bit more spiritual, so you're going to put a fire under his rear end. Well, you're going to send him, but not the guy. I'm burner, bless God. She'll be on fire. Yeah, you'll be toasty, crispy, jazz. Ain't gonna do it. I'll fry my children. No, folks, I'm telling you, you let God set people on fire. Because your matches are puke. They hurt. They don't help. But you get frustrated, don't you? Pray for a lost guy, you don't get saved. Well, God, I think I need to help this guy out. Got a member don't want to show up very often on Sunday. Lord, I think I had better pay them a visit and let them know, what is that? All flesh. And you fight fire with fire, you get more fire. Yeah. When this church is on fire, and you start lighting the pew over here, I mean, we're going to have real trouble. Isn't that right? Hey, preacher, the Sunday school's on fire! Well, let's light the pulpit and we'll all be over! That's stupid. Easy to do. You're going to have dark night of soul. You're going to have the lights go out. You are. Keep going! Keep going! Lean on Jesus! And don't light your own fire! Manning said this. I'm almost done. The dark night is a very real place, and anyone who has been there will tell you. It's marked by dryness, barrenness, desolation, and a profound sense of God's absence. The dark night is an indispensable stage of growth. And though painful, the purification of the ego happens in the dark night. Can't be mature without dark nights. Can't be weaned from feelings unto faith without dark nights. You can't shatter your pride without dark nights. Gonna happen. So I'm done. Say, what's the whole point? We got a church that's ministering. Church doing a lot of good things, duty. But Jesus says, I got a problem. Your heart's not in it. Why? They lost consciousness of Jesus. The intimacy was no longer there. I was reading about during the Korean War, the United Nations headed in there, and they took off. It said they went deep into the Korean Peninsula, came into a river, and they went so fast that they exhausted their food and their ammunition supplies, and they got deep in the enemy's territory, and the enemy was fresh and came back and put them back to the 38th parallel. You can't go any further than your supplies. You don't spend time with Christ, you ain't going to do nothing for Christ. I don't know who said this, but I remember reading about a missionary. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I heard it years ago. I don't remember who it was. True story. This missionary, they were going, it was in Africa or something, I don't remember exactly. But they were moving through the jungle, and they had hired some natives to help them carry the equipment. They moved, they had to get to their spot at a certain time. They were like 2 or 3 days rushing everybody, and on like the third day, the natives sat down and would not go one step further. And when they asked him why, you know what the guy said? We're waiting for our soul to catch up with our bodies. I like that. That's our problem. We're going without God! You can't do it! You cannot do it! So you need to let your soul catch up with your body. Colorado, you can say what you want. One of the things I'm looking forward to is let my broken soul catch up with my body. You may not know it, but it's not as easy as you think to just preach. 3 sermons, you say, you only preach 3 a week. I know, but I spend all week studying for the 3 sermons I do preach. And they're not usually 10 minutes. And I've been doing that for years. You know what? There's times I need to back up. Get off somewhere. And just let my soul catch up with my body. That's right. You do too. You do too. And maybe that's not your problem. Maybe your problem is you just ain't walking with God. Maybe God's trying to get your soul going, or you won't walk with God. See, you have to decide where you're at. If you misdiagnose where you're at, you're going to really hurt yourself. See, if you're sitting here and God's absent because you got sin that you won't deal with by confessing it, and you're trusting in your own merit or demerit, don't think you're in a dark night of the soul and that you're just going to walk by faith. You're under chastisement. You're in the divine woodshed. That's a dark place too. My dad took me to the woodshed. They don't have lights in that thing. Yeah, that's right. You know what's nice? I don't have to tell you where you're at. Only God can tell you. See, my job as a pastor is not to say, well, they're in the woodshed, I know that. I don't know nothing. I don't know whether you're in a dark night of the soul. I don't know if you're in the woodshed. I don't know if you're the greatest, deepest person in the world or as carnal as puke. I don't know. All I know is I got enough trouble with me. So you say, what? Then how are you going to minister to us? I'm going to do it like tonight. I'm going to preach the Word of God and let the Holy Spirit apply. All right? And I'm going to try to be honest in the application so it's not you, it's us. I wish I was one of you pastors. You guys really need to straighten yourself up. Folks, I can't do it. I'm just too screwed up myself. And if I don't have the merit of Jesus, I tell you, I don't have nothing. I mean, that's pitiful, I guess, but that's a fact. When eternity breaks out, the thing that's going to be funny, everybody's in the same boat I'm in. Just didn't know it. I'm glad God let me find it out. Spent years as a high-powered, phony piece of puke behind the pulpit. Oh, so nice to be liberated. So nice to nothing to prove, nothing to lose. All I got to do, I don't have to stand up here and be super saint or spit. I'm telling you, Jesus is everything. What a relief. What a relief. Isn't it nice to be in church to prove anything? Huh? And if someone does sin, folks, unless you're a complete idiot, you ought to be able to identify with that. Not kick them down, not stomp their face in, not say, hey, what? You ought to be able to look at them and say, I'm fulfilling, Mike. Yeah. Say, well, nobody helped me when I was down. That's all the more reason to help someone else when they're down. That's right. Didn't you want someone to help you when you were down? I did.